Under that sexy looking heatsink is actually a Z170 chipset. Yes, that's right, we have a Skylake review on the day of release. How awesome is that? Huge thanks to Asus for sending us the board and the chip, and I guess you should better stick around because this board is awesome. Honestly, this video is definitely worth watching. Stick around. Check out our website at TechteamGB.co.uk for more info on both this and many other products, and also up-to-date news on all things tech. Stick around for this awesome video. So let's start off with the box. Now, as we were talking about, the board itself is awesome, but this is actually the lowest end ROG board, so that may make you think that it's not, that great and missing lots of things, but honestly, this thing, I can't pick out a specific thing that this board is missing. It's awesome. So the box itself has a sort of flip cover on the front, which has an annotated picture of the board with all the cool stuff you get, as well as on the upper sort of side you get all the sort of marketing spiel, as I normally call it. But all the cool things, including the SupremeFX audio, the Intel gigabit networking, the experience with the keyboard and that sort of thing. We'll talk about that later, and the protection from sort of surge protection and that sort of stuff, and the sort of awesome paraface design. Now, this is what the board looks like, and yes, that is possibly the sexiest heatsink for the chipset I've seen in a while, but we'll come back to that in a second. So, I want to jump into what's in the box. Now, what is in the box? Well, you get some SATA cables, a user guide, a driver disc, which I actually had to use for once, which is really kind of weird. You get a CPU insertion tool, which is quite cool, I guess. Some more information, an IO shield, which is apparently bland for good reason, a door hanger, an SLI bridge, some stickers, and some more stickers, and something that you won't get in this box, which is an i5 6600K. Now, this chip is quad-core with no hyper-threading, and we'll talk about that in the full review as well as later on in the episode, but I just wanted to point out that it's here and it's awesome. So this is the Ranger board. It sits just below the Hero and is, as I said, technically the lowest end, but as I said, don't mistake the lowest end for not cool. This thing is awesome. Now, this socket itself is actually the 1151. You won't be able to fit things like the 4790K in this board as far as I'm aware, and you'll basically means that if you buy this board, a Z170 board, you're gonna have to buy an i5 6600K or an i7 6700K. Those are the only two chips that work in this board as far as I'm aware. Now, as I said, this board isn't missing anything as far as I can tell. You get loads of cool stuff. Starting on the bottom, you have things like the SupremeFX audio with the kind of cutaway red LED separated PCB, which is really cool, and a denoising relay as well. You get a Thunderbolt header if you want to use Thunderbolt on this. You get hardware start, reset, clear CMOS, and at the top Memo K buttons next to the debug LEDs, or 7-second displays as I call them. That big ROG chip in the middle is apparently for the keyboard, which is actually quite cool, and we'll check that out later. You also get loads of USB 3, you actually get two USB 3 headers, a ROG extension if you wanted to plug in the ROG header, and an extended M.2 slot in case you wanted to put a really big, really kick-ass M.2 SSD in here. Now, up the top you have an 8-pin CPU power, as well as a fan header for specifically a water cooling pump, which is awesome, and that's right next to the two CPU fan headers. This board is literally littered with fan headers, which is actually really cool. Now, the I/O is actually pretty comprehensive, covers everything well. So you got a PS2 mouse combo port, you got 4 USB 2 ports, a clear CMOS button on the back as well, full-size display port, full-size HDMI, and a USB 3.1 Type-C and Type-A, as well as USB 3, two of those, and Ethernet, Intel Ethernet, and 7.1 audio with SPDIF. Now, as I said, we're going to be testing this with an i5 6600K. If you want to check out the full review, check out the link in the description down below, or just on the channel, but the spec for this one is that it's a 3.5 GHz quad-core with no hyper-threading, 6 MB of cache, 91 watt TDP, and as I said, fits in the socket 1151. It's actually really cool. It's incredibly small, especially compared to some of the AMD chips we've been checking out, and it just looks really cool on this board, so I had to take many shots of that. But long story short, this works really well. The actual board itself, I didn't have really any specific issues with, and we'll be taking a look at software, so the AI suite, as well as the actual BIOS itself. And my only comments with the BIOS is that it was a little bit sort of hard to navigate at first because I'm sort of used to the older style of UEFI BIOSes, but generally speaking it's awesome. It has a load of features, especially overclocking, even on this board, which is really nice to see. Obviously this board isn't specifically designed for overclocking, it's more for, you know, a slightly more budget gamer. And if you want to buy this board, by the way, check it out in the links down below once that's available. So yeah, check it out. Now, as I said, the BIOS is actually really cool. It did take me a while to sort of work out where everything was, but generally speaking, once you get your head around it, it is actually fairly well laid out, and you've got the hardware monitor on the side that shows you all the sort of, you know, stats about the chip and the board itself, so that's all cool. Now remember that this board is actually DDR4, something to point out. Now, AI Suite is actually something I've been using for ages, and I'm using actually AI Suite 2, whereas this one's way more advanced than that and has way cooler features. You get a little sort of dashboard button where you're able to turn on, you know, fans, ramp them up dramatically, and it actually it works really well. And generally, AI Suite has always been sort of good for me, so it's pretty awesome. Now for pros, it's got good I/O, sexy chipset heatsink, it's well laid out, it's got some good features, and the only con that I could even consider is that it's not the sexiest board. You know, you can't look at it and go, oh my god, that looks amazing. It looks cool, but just not the best. That's honestly the only negative thing I can think about it, and that's why this board was really hard to score. So for value for money, it's going to get a 5, because as an ROG board, it has everything that I could think of. You know, it wasn't missing anything. I don't know, it just didn't quite feel like you had every possible thing there. I just couldn't pick one that was missing, so that's why it's really hard to actually choose a score for this. For performance, it's going to have to get a 5. Functionality, as I said, it's not missing anything, but it just doesn't have all the latest, coolest new stuff, I guess. But honestly, that's kind of a bit of a wishy-washy answer, so yeah, sorry about that one. But honestly, it is a great board. It's definitely worth your money, and that's why it's going to get the Gamer Approved award, because if you are a gamer, this is definitely something you want to be checking out if you're going for the new Z170 platform. So other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to see more launch coverage of obviously Skylake, Z170, or even just anything else that's launching, if you got any ideas for stuff that you want us to see or, you know, cover, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Feel free to check out the written review, and as I said, check out the review of the 6600K, as I said in the comments down below, or the description down below. There'll be a link for you down there. So, as I said, other than that, yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Helps out a lot. And yeah, feel free to leave a like if you did like the video. If you did or didn't, leave us a comment down below and let us know what you thought of it, why you did or didn't like it, and yeah, we'll see you all in the next video. So thanks for watching this TechteamGB video. You've probably heard enough of me already, so I'm going to finish off by saying please subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us out a hell of a lot, and it means just the world to us in general. Please do feel free to check out some of our recent videos both down below. They're more recent ones and they're certainly awesome. Feel free to click my face for the website and click all the links over there for our Amazon affiliate link, our social media, and also our YouTube channel as well. Other than that, as I said, please subscribe, like, share, favourite, and all the other many things possible, and we'll see you all in the next video.